everyone, my name is Abby Urban, and today I'm here at Navy Pier in Chicago to see The Notebook, the musical, at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater.
The Notebook, the musical, is based on the best-selling Nicholas Sparks novel of the same name, but you might be more familiar with the tear-jerking movie from 2004. This version features music and lyrics from singer-songwriter Ingrid Michaelson. Today, we had the chance to speak with The Notebook's music director, Geoff, about working on this exciting new piece.
In college, I went to Northwestern up that a ways with one of my best friends from high school, and he's a producer type, and he knew that I played piano and took some lessons and had some musical background a little bit. And so he was producing a musical freshman year, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, cast me in it, but then also his music director kind of like flaked and half dropped out a little bit, and so he asked if I wanted to do that also, and we would hire pianists to actually play the thing, but I would kind of music direct.
After graduating, his career skyrocketed to Broadway from a connection he made at the Paper Mill Playhouse.
She hired me for a benefit at Town Hall, and I did some charts, helped out a little bit, and at that after party I met Emily Marshall, who would end up music directing Be More Chill.
Yes.
And we hit it off over a whiskey. This was November 2017, if I'm doing my math correctly.
Okay.
November 2017, and we hit it off, had a good whiskey, talked about work and all that shit, and then that was it. And then 6-7 months later, March 2018, she texted me and was like, hey, might have a gig for you, hearing good things from my friends about you, and we hit it off. Do you want to grab a drink and talk about it? So we met for a 4 p.m. whiskey in downtown New York. And then 2 weeks later, she was like, do you want to be my associate on Be More Chill? And then we did that off-Broadway, and then moved in a year later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah, it's random tiny connections.
Over a whiskey.
Yeah, over a whiskey, and it's we connected, we feel good, we
Right.
clearly have a good working relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Great, cool. And then you're in my head next time I need someone.
His work on The Notebook started by meeting music supervisor Carmel Dean through a Zoom reading, of all places.
Before we had met in person, before we had done anything other than 29 hours on Zoom and texting about tracks and rehearsal and that type of stuff, she was like, hey, do you want to music direct this? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Erin and I were talking about the music. Ingrid Michaelson.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what has that been like to work with her and her music?
Really fun and really rewarding. She's really involved, and she's really smart, which are two things that are not always true of pop writers coming into the musical theater canon. But one, she was she's the Sarah Bareilles type of was a theater kid, and so she writes dramatically, she thinks dramatically, she writes with
characters and story in mind always, and isn't here's a cool tune, fit it in somehow. Right. She's always editing to bring out the best storyline and
really
to make sure
moving the story along is what I noticed.
Yeah.
With obviously the movie being such an iconic piece of recent media, what was it like to try to throughout the process capture that feeling of the movie, but in a new way?
Yeah. Part of it was honoring the story, right? Both for the book and the movie, and honoring the characters, and then kind of updating that to 2021, 2022, post all of the cultural conversations we've had in the last 5-6 years, and also updating the timeline. So those are the major shifts, pushing it 30-40 years later. Part of it, honestly, also was trying to capture the magic of both without relying on knowledge of either, and without pandering to either. Right? So without making it a big brassy movie adaptation, which is not right, and the movie is not that either. But you can't capture a Ferris wheel on a stage. You can't, things like that.
You could, but it might not be very good.
Right, it wouldn't work. Yeah.
The Notebook, the musical, approaches the story in an innovative and very theatrical way, casting 3 sets of actors to portray the 2 main characters in different phases of their lives.
Musically, I'm kind of wondering, with the different characters in their different ages, working with the actors and everything, how is that to try to represent the characters at different times in their lives?
strange and new to me at first. Never have had to do that. That being just 3 different people playing the same person. So a lot of conversations that we had, not just in music, but in movement and in inflections and characterizations, was like just get to know each other, and even if you're not called, come in and watch how your younger self is doing something. Is there something you could sprinkle in? Is there a vowel, that he's doing that affects how you sing later on, and how would that have morphed over 30 years or 60 years?
And then to get a little bit more specific into the music, Erin and I were also talking about one of our favorite songs was Middle Alley's big number in the second act where she's like belting it out and everything. So I feel like that's a really pivotal moment. Can you talk about that a little bit, or the process of working with the actress in that part?
Yeah. I wish Ingrid or Karma was here, because they could tell you a little bit more about the
Sure.
writing of it. I know a lot of the conversations that we had, and I had with Joy, who plays Middle Alley, but also that Michael and Shelley and Ingrid and Becca had, was making sure that most of this journey, and especially her journey, was spurred by her, and her making decisions or choosing not to make a decision, right? But it was never like Noah on the Ferris wheel being like, go out with me, and it was never her parents being like, don't do that. And so the song is just musicalizing that, like, this is your moment, you have to make a choice, you're gonna make a choice. And a lot of Ingrid's lyrics, a lot of the key change, like musical things like that, all stems from where is she in that decision making process, which then turns into conversations of, okay, well, how are you singing it? How loud are we? Are we chest? Or all of that, which gets into the technical of all of it. But all of the conversations that we have always go back to character, story, and with her and that song specifically, the decision making and why this moment is different than the first time around, where she says, okay, my parents are going, I'm going, this might be it, right? What spurs her to be like, okay, this is me, this is my life, this is what I want.
And at the time of our filming, the show had just been extended to the end of October. We're all looking forward to see where it goes next.
It feels really nice that enough people are coming and talking about it and wanting to see more. Yeah, it feels like a good sign for the future. It feels like this is one that, now that we're a week in or so into doing the same show over and over, I'm not bored of yet. And many times once we get into run of show, I'm like, oh, I know what this is, and this is why I don't do 42nd Street, or I like the development process, and I get bored very easily of doing the same show. And this has been one that has gotten much easier, and I'm not stressing about playing a song correctly or leading someone through a song correctly. I'm like still finding new things in it that I really appreciate. So I'm glad I get to do more of that.
That's all we have for this episode, but make sure to stay tuned for more behind the scenes content of musical theater over here in the Midwest.